Jesus pulls Peter aside and he says to Peter, "Who do people say that I am?" Now it's really important that he doesn't just ask Peter, "Who do you say I am?" First he says, "Peter, who do you think that people think I am?" And Peter says, "Well, some people say you're a prophet, some people say you're this, some people say you're that." And then Jesus does something. Jesus says to Peter, "Who do you think I am, Peter?" And you know, it seems kind of strange if you first read through that. I mean, why does Jesus care about what Peter, thinks other people think about him? And here's why Jesus is doing this. Jesus is trying to get Peter to pull away from the crowd. He's trying to get Peter to have his own mind concerning God, his own heart concerning God. It's kind of like this. It's like the tendency for us human beings is to kind of run with the crowd. In fact, we see this when Jesus is being tried in front of the people. In fact, all they had to do is get just a few people. In fact, it was even a setup. Just get a few people saying, "Crucify him." And pretty soon the whole mob was jumping in and saying, "Crucify him." Now, some of those people, their parents were healed, their son was healed, their daughter was healed, their friend was healed, a miracle happened in their life, and yet, maybe a week or two later, they're shouting out and yelling, "Crucify him." Why? Because they were going with the mob, going with the crowd, going with what everybody else believes. So Jesus wants to get his guys focused. He wants to get his guys really understanding this is about what you believe. So he sets Peter up beautifully. And he says, "Peter, who do people say I am?" And Peter gives the answer. And then he says, "Who do you say I am?" And then Peter says, "I believe you're the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus said to him, "Peter, upon that rock, that revelation, that personal belief, you can build a new identity." Peter has this radical new view, this new vantage point, this new way of seeing the big world around him. Peter now sees God different. He sees Jesus different. Jesus is now not just his master and teacher, but he's Savior, he's Christ. But even as important, Peter sees himself differently because he has a personal revelation. Jesus says, "Peter, you are a rock." In other words, this revelation you have that's personal, that's not based upon the crowd, it's not based upon what other people think, it's based upon what you think. It's what's in your heart that matters. That will cause you to be a rock in your faith. My prayer for you is that just like Peter, Jesus would be able to say to you, "What do you believe?" And you'd be able to say, "I believe you're the Christ, the Son of the living God." Not because of what everybody else says, but because of what I believe in my heart. And Jesus would be able to say to you just what he said to Peter, "You're a rock, and on that rock, you can stand for a lifetime."